Good afternoon. I'm Tim McAdoo from J.J. Haynes. I want to thank you for joining. Today we're going to look at doing a plank replacement, a tile replacement actually, in a floating installation using the Kool Glide iron. And what's unique about the Kool Glide iron, the Kool Glide iron utilizes radio frequency waves. So I put this on top and I have my tape underneath, and this is the Kool Glide vinyl carpet tile and LVP tape. So it's got a silicone layer on the back side, does not stick to the floor. The radio waves go down through the flooring and then they activate the tape. So first thing we have to do, we have to get the plank out of the middle of the floor. And since my recording studio has no air conditioning and it's about 95 degrees and 90% humidity, I did a little work ahead of time. So we're going to cut a plank out. And this is how I cut them out. I've already gone through this, and by the way, this is an 8mm WPC product. It's Armstrong rigid core. It's got a cork backing, pretty thick product. WPC wood polymer core, blown up foam. Some use wood in there, some do not. So I do all my board replacements the same way, whether it's a laminate floor, a hardwood floor, an LVT floor. So I basically make a cut, a cut, a cut, a cut, and then one down through the middle. I love this knife. This is a concave hook blade. J.J. Haynes sells those. It is very sharp. It works very good. I've already cut through this by hand, 8mm product. It took me about 3 shots with every cut, and it goes through it. Now, it's actually coming apart right now. This is a very nice tool. Plywood underlayments, works great, don't need a saw. And also, it minimizes dust on a product like this. Now, if I get into an SPC product, the solid polymer core, they're a much more denser product. I'm going to need probably a saw to go through that. So let's just get this guy out. So it all comes out in pieces. And again, I have very few dust particles there because of that knife. Now, what I have to do is I have to modify the locking system of the product, because this isn't going to fit under, this isn't going to fit under, and this little nose on the front. Now, I've used the table saw to remove this nose. This product here, it's not bad, the nose is pretty big. That has to be completely removed. If I have any fullness, it's going to push everything out, disengage the product. So I have my table saw set up here, and what I do, I set my blade up, if you want to come over here, and I have the blade on an angle. So I'm putting a bevel cut on the back side of this, and I've only raised it up enough just to cut the tongue. So I don't want to cut into the wear layer surface. So give me 1 minute here. So if you know you're going out on a job and you have the attic stock there, you can save yourself a ton of time just by doing this right now. This one here I'll cut off by hand. But I also did one on a 4mm thick SPC product. That's how thin that tongue is. And trying to get that completely removed with a knife takes a lot of time. So again, I used the saw there. I ran it down through when I stopped, just so you could see how fine that little tongue is. So we got the long tongue removed. Now what I'm going to do is remove this short one. This is probably the most time-consuming part of this. And again, you see me, I'm holding my knife on an angle, so I put like a little bevel cut on it to ensure that I have it completely off. And then I'm going to cut this end off as well. to just take my knife, scrape that down, make sure I have everything out. So what this is going to do, it's going to slip under this lock here. I'm going to tap it into place, and we're going to use the tape. Just going to cut that corner off the hair there. Then we're going to put the tape around 3 sides. Okay, so.
Pause for 1 moment.
Get this up and under. One side. So I only have to put it under 3 sides is because I'm going to utilize this locking system right here. Now the other 2 tools I have a seam weight and I have a hand roller I'm going to use as well. So let me get my extension cord. Now there's a couple buttons on this Kool Glide here. You're going to see low, medium, and high. That's going to be the frequency of the wave, how high it is. There's your power button. It's going to heat the material up between these 2 lines. So when I move it, you'll see me putting my finger down and sliding it up to that point. The T is like if I get into a doorway, so it'll cook it right there and right up against the doorway as well, if I need to do that. You okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're ready to roll. So I'm going to put this on. I'm up here. I know the tape's running back here a little bit. Press my button on the side, the green light comes on. And when it goes off, I know it's done. Okay, move it up. Kick it on medium there. So now I'm going to line it up that way. You can see the green light's on. It's going to come off in a minute. Put my finger, move it up. Otherwise, if I wasn't using the tape, I modified the locking system, I'd have to use a crazy glue type material. I usually use this go-to. It gives me 30 minutes working time. But this, less messy, does a nice job. The tool, it's going to cost you some money. It's great for seaming carpet. I can use it for starter rows on hardwood. It has a number of uses. Again, LVP, good to go. we have any questions? So we've utilized the lock in the back. We did not modify that at all. So we didn't have to do anything there. We're done. No cleanup except where I nicked my finger there. But it's down good and tight. You can roll it as you go. You can use your seam weight to weight it down as you go, which isn't a bad idea. If you get some thinner products, it'll help you prevent any lippage, any ledging. Now let's just do one thing. Let's see if we can flip a section of this over just to see what we got. I'm going to take this roll apart. So from the back side, you can see where it's holding. It's dislocking everywhere else, but where the Kool Glide tape is, it's got that held solid. So it's a pretty daggone tough installation system, so it's going to help you there. Does anyone have any questions on this? All right. In a couple weeks, I want to do another Instagram Live, and what I've been playing around with, making my own stair landings or stair treads. This is a 4mm product. It was a plank of material, just like that. I was able to bend it, make my own tread, and what I like best about this, I don't have to buy that overlap flush mount stair nose, and my flooring locks directly into it. So I have a completely flush transition there on my steps. Saves me about $30, $40 for a nosing. That's a 4mm product. Here's a 6. Had no trouble bending it, and you can see the face of it. There's no stress there as well. And again, it just locks right in. Gives you a very smooth transition. And I even played with it on an 8mm thick product. No issues at all. That's a square edge. I'm playing around with making a rounded edge. Another installer, Frank Cartwright, gave me this idea, explained it to me. So I want to show it to everybody, but I want to get it down pat before I show everybody. So in about 2 weeks, I'll be doing another session, and we'll go from there. If no one has any questions, I thank you much for joining. And I will post this to YouTube as well if there's any questions. Thank you.